And we'll take a look at those gas counts. But yeah, kind of a build engineer in HeroMarine. And his opponent spawning up in the top left, going with the more standard double gas, that gas first. It is the red Terran player from the aforementioned Starcom. It is Koss. Oh my god. And he's going factory before Reaper. Wow.
Both of these guys know that they've got to throw a clog in the works. They've got to throw a wrench in this, or what is it? It's a spanner in the works, or a clog in the wheel. I got my metaphors mixed up here. We're both saying the same thing. They got to do something crazy here in this game because both of these guys are really good players. I think obviously Big Gabe, the favorite, and the name that more players are going to be familiar with. Currently on top of the world, just one of the, the best foreign Terran player in the world right now. And one, I think, the top 10 players in the world overall. But Cass, not to be underestimated, a very strong player. And again, one of those players who, a lot like Mana and Harstem, who's been around since the beginning, right? He's been playing StarCraft for 400,000 years now and has become one with the matrix of StarCraft. And really has a good insight into what his opponents are probably going to be doing. Oh, man.
Yeah, he is such a smart player.
I looked over. I know you're adjusting your background now, and I just saw your face like zip wildly off screen, and I was like, "Steadfast, are you okay, buddy?
Where did you go? Come back."
Cass is going to be able to get that Hellion out very quickly, of course, going, as you said, for that factory before Reaper. So HeroMarine has 2 Reapers, but Cass has 2 Reapers and a Hellion. HeroMarine going to sneak up the ramp behind him, actually, just as Cass moves out. Those 2 Reapers going to get into the natural forecast. He's going to slow down that command center. Very well done by HeroMarine.
Yeah, that's a really, really nice find. Even going to isolate one of these Hellions. Oh, not quite able to pick it off. 2 HP, 1 Reaper shot left. So that will leave the option for a counterattack still open to Koss. If he'd lost that Hellion, I don't think he really had it. But now HeroMarine moving out aggressively with a very relatively small army here.
Yeah, he's got to get the heck back, man. Losing those 2 Reapers early on doesn't seem like a lot, but this early game TVT is one of those rare moments in StarCraft where a game can just end immediately when 1 unit goes down. And Terran players know that, so this is a very, very dangerous push from Cass here. 2 more Marines all the way from HeroMarine, but already HeroMarine losing his first Reaper here. He's not going to... Oh, he does get the gateway up, or does get the gate up. That's very nice of him, but he's going to lose all these SCVs to pay for it.
Yeah, that is a really, really big loss. This Cyclone will pop out, and that is going to let him stabilize, but he's even going to lose a couple more units. Another Hellion going down, almost loses one of those Marines that pops out, and this Reaper may actually escape. If it regenerates to full, I think it can actually pick the fight versus this Hellion.
I think it can. Maybe all those carbs from last night not really working out for HeroMarine. He might be feeling a bit unsettled in the pit of his stomach. I know pizza sometimes messes me up when I eat too much of it. So hopefully he's feeling on his game. But right now, Cass looking very strong in the opener. And Cass going to go ahead and add the Raven, I believe, a little bit earlier. Yeah, he's going to have 1 Raven out already. So HeroMarine going to be behind in the Raven count. And that 3rd base from Cass, about 30 seconds ahead of HeroMarine as well. Cass looks really strong right now, but of course TVT can change in an instant.
Yes, it can, but like you said, that faster 3rd command center, that is really, really important in the matchup. It means, of course, you can keep that SCV production going for a lot longer. And this first Raven popping out earlier, he's going to be able to pick off a couple of SCVs right here.
Luckily, the siege tank there to drive that down. Great tank placement there by HeroMarine. I don't know if that was the intended use of the tank, but at least it does stop that auto turret rather than doing too much. Cass still trying to poke in and do a little bit of damage, trying to use that Reaper to get the high ground vision and maybe snipe a tank with the Cyclones or something. But HeroMarine with a solid defense there is going to drive that back. And now HeroMarine looking a bit more solid as his tank production really ramps up. We can see he's already 1 tank ahead of Cass, and his 3rd base will finish up pretty quickly.
Yeah, that is because Koss went for that 2nd Cyclone, and as you said, went for that kind of aggressive play with Reaper to try and maybe sneak get a sneaky pick off on one of HeroMarine's tanks, and then, you know, his tank production catches up, and he's got a couple of extra Cyclones to maybe catch a lock on a Raven, or maybe he can turn it into an advantage. But a nice defense from HeroMarine, and he'll prevent that.
So long term, we finally see these 2 players' strategies starting to pan out just a little bit. As another factory comes down for Cass, it looks like we are going to see mech play from our Eastern European player. Whereas our German, in the blue, getting that stim, should be adding on barracks 2 and 3 very soon. Unless, am I missing something? Yeah.
No, yeah, he's already got him on the way in
There
the
it is.
bottom left-hand corner of the base.
Thank you.
Even getting a very early scan, seeing that early second factory, that's really great for HeroMarine. That is such a huge tell.
So, song as old as time. No, what is it? Tale as old as time. Song as old as rhyme. Bio versus Mech. It's going to be great, Steadfast. Oh, man. HeroMarine put a little pressure on. Ooh, this is impressive.
Yeah, this is a pretty big force from HeroMarine. Now, he does have one less Raven, but he is building Vikings. However, not bringing them with the army is a little bit surprising to me. Nice job leading with that Cyclone so that Koss cannot see where the army is for HeroMarine. These tanks are going to siege up on the ramp, and Koss a little bit late with those interference matrices, and, well, he's going to lose one of his tanks. Now, this will be a pretty good cleanup, I think, for Koss, but HeroMarine trades out better than I would have expected, I feel.
Yeah, wow, those tanks all sieging up, and there's the Vikings to clean this up. One Raven has gone down already. The Vikings going down. There's nothing to fight these Ravens right now. Look at the unit tab. There's one Marine on the ground for right now for Koss. He's going to lose everything. These Vikings can tear him apart like Lisa in the room. He's just in so much trouble right now as these Vikings not only get a full scout, drive the Ravens back and force Koss to make another round of Vikings to deal with this.
And he's going to split the Viking drops. I love it. Going to get on top of both tanks, will take them out. The counter-landed Vikings from Koss, not going to be enough as the reinforcements show up for HeroMarine. HeroMarine doing a ton of damage with this push. Now, the Ravens did survive, but, I mean, losing 2 tanks, that is really, really disastrous when you're going mech off of, just for now, just 2 factories, only one of them with a tech lab. That's a nice tank for Koss right there, though.
Yeah. HeroMarine overextending just a bit. What an absolutely scrappy game from both players. Landed Vikings on top of tanks. HeroMarine really saying that he is going to have to do as much damage as he possibly can early on in the game, and that's, as you said, so clutch. Keeping the tank count of a mech Terran down is tantamount to success.
Oh, absolutely. And, well, Koss does survive a very scary moment, though, where, as I said, he had an extremely small amount of production for his mech. Just now, finishing up the tech lab on that second factory and being able to go into that double tank production. And the good news for Koss is that his 4th command center, a lot faster than HeroMarine. So he's going to be able to take advantage of that high SCV count much more than HeroMarine will.
Yeah, and that's really nice from Koss. A little more sustainable economy gives him a chance, and of course with mech, those gases are going to be so important. Slightly more than in Bio, but obviously HeroMarine going to use those gases as well. 1-1 on the way for our Bio player, HeroMarine, but 1-1 on the way for Koss as well. These guys both showing us why they're old school Terran masters. It's like watching 2 ancient monks spar with each other, where they don't throw a punch for 30 minutes because they both are just like feeling each other out. They both want to see what the other person's going to do. Really nice. There's so much production from HeroMarine though. Look at this barracks explosion.
Yeah, cutting a little bit of his actual army production in order to get an explosive round of production. 3 more barracks, +1 ship weapons, and double starport coming down. And he's going to go for a very, very early transition into Sky Terran. For, of course, that Liberator Viking that is so effective. If you can overwhelm your opponent's Viking count and then you have the starport lead, you suddenly force them into a position where they have to go Thors, and then you can go mass Liberator off of 3 reactored starports.
That's like the most terrifying single sentence or single phrase in any sentence that anybody playing a Terran player can hear. Mass Liberator off of 3 starports. Oh, it's going to be so dangerous. I can't wait to see what HeroMarine does. And already, I almost said Fleet Beacon. I've been watching too much PvP, Steadfast. Jeez. He's got his Fusion Core coming down now to add in that Liberator range and really amp up the value that those Liberators are going to have, especially against a mech player who may have a lot of Vikings in the air or even a lot of Cyclones to drive him back. Koss already scrubbing in Thors, which is going to make the Liberator range so essential in this game.
Yeah, very, very important there. And a really big buff to Liberators by putting that upgrade on the Fusion Core, meaning you never need to build a tech lab on your one of your 2 additional starports, and you can just go straight into mass reactored air units. The only time you're going to want to put a tech lab on there is if you're, you know, going back into a late game Raven transition, which is an option, or you want to go mass BC, which, I mean, you know, we could see that. I don't expect it, but we could.
Never count anything out with HeroMarine. Wow, this one Marine stimmed out of his mind, firing at a missile turret. And it's the cancel, not the kill. I was really hoping he'd get the kill there and be rewarded for his efforts.
Me too.
Look at these forward, really aggressively forward missile turrets out of COS. That's looking really good for him. HeroMarine will see this push coming and should be able to split his Marauders out front to make sure he can put down any of those Hellions before they get on. Man, if we just take a look at the income for these players, we can see it's spiking back in favor of Cass, who's really had an income lead pretty much this entire game. But HeroMarine maybe evening things up now with a lot more CCs coming down.
Yeah, I want to point out the decision from HeroMarine. So wow, holy crap, 6 command centers on the way right now. Really gearing up for the later stages of this game.
It's because they all have an oven inside. Look, if you zoom in on the CC, the one that's finished building, you'll see there's a little. It looks like people think it's a ramp. No, it's just a pizza oven in the CC. That's why he's building so many more, because you can just slide a pizza up there and it'll cook in 15 seconds flat, because the Terran technology is so good.
That makes a ton of sense. Why didn't I think of that? By the way, some very interesting upgrades coming down here from HeroMarine, getting that high capacity fuel tanks for the medevac upgrade. Meanwhile, COS going all of the mech upgrades right now. Speaking of big, bold moves, big triple drop coming into the main base. HeroMarine looking to trade out some supply and get some value with that. We'll pick off a Thor and may even get some of these tech labs here.
Oh, focus fire, HeroMarine. If you focus firing on those tech labs, you can deny all 3 of those essential upgrades for the mech army. He could get smart servos, he could get mag field accelerator, and he could get drilling pods for those water mines if he really wanted to. Unfortunately, he's going to get cleaned up in the main there, taking 9 SCVs with him, and now this pressure on the 1 o'clock base doing such good work. HeroMarine really landing a 1-2 punch there, and COS not really able to respond to it very well. I love that from HeroMarine. Very well done.
Yeah, that was really effective. He went in there, drew his opponent over towards that main base, picked off the planetary, picked off like 3 or 4 tanks, and showed the strength of that very early Sky Terran transition. And look at this. How many orbital commands are we about to have for HeroMarine? He's already up to 5, with 5 more in production. He can start sacking SCVs if he wants.
Man. He definitely could. 87 workers already. And yeah, like you said, he can start sacking those to really amp up his army. As both players are now maxed out, Cass's bank looking a little bit healthier than HeroMarine's, but really not that much. I think it's going to be a fairly even. This is the big thing I wanted to point out earlier. So we look at those 2 engineering bays working on 2-2 right now. HeroMarine put back his 2-2 for so long. And I was going to say denied it. He just didn't start his 2-2 for maybe a good solid 4 or 5 minutes. So while we see COS finishing up 3-3 for his units, HeroMarine not going to be on 3-3 for quite some time now, and that might be a bit of a mistake from Big Gabe. Not the biggest mistake, but could be a little bit of one.
I actually think that was a decision from HeroMarine,
really?
to be honest.
Tell me more.
Yeah. So if you paid attention, or if you were watching the gas count of HeroMarine, it never got particularly high for a good portion of the mid game, and part of the reason is because he put so much into that production early on. He got that very early fusion core for the upgrade there. He got, we'll talk about that in a moment. Big fight coming down, anti-armor missile blanketing the Vikings, and this is going to be a great fight for COS. Oh man, a little bit of a disaster for HeroMarine actually. He's going to get fully cleaned up here. And, well, that is the power of 3-3 mech. And, of course, those air units have +3 air. Oh, my God, that poor medevac.
Yeah, that's rough. COS working on +1 air weapons now, realizing he was going to need it for fights in the future. But that one Raven doing its duty for COS and absolutely blanketing those units. That anti-armor missile driving HeroMarine back. It didn't do like a bunch of damage, or it didn't cause a bunch of extra damage on the Vikings, but it drove them back. It put HeroMarine in a weak position. He is going to lose 1 orbital command, but he's like, whatever, nobody cares. But he is going to lose a lot of SCVs behind this, and his 4th base position is going to be difficult to hold now. As the Marines and Marauders move into the west flank of this army, we do see the Thors fighting for their lives here. 5 Thors still going to be able to hold the line here for a little while. The Vikings going to land. The Vikings might actually be able to clean this up because Vikings do such good damage against Thors and siege tanks. But the Thor count's so strong. My God, those Vikings are terrifying.
They were so good right there. even against Thors, the heavy metal, heavy hitters. Oh, wow, these Vikings are actually going to win the fight. Man, such low HP, but Liberators really just are paper mache when it comes to fighting Vikings. But yeah, sorry, continuing the thought from before. So by going for that very, very early Sky Terran transition, as well as even that second relatively early armory from HeroMarine, he really wanted to save as much gas as he could. So he, in my opinion, chose not to get that 2-2. Now, I am a little bit surprised he hasn't gone for 3-3 since he still does need bio units. He still is going for a lot of Marauders, a lot of Marines. I'm okay with not getting the +3 armor, but I would like to see the +3 attack just because Marauders pack such a punch against those Thors, against those tanks, if you can get on top of them.
Really intelligent. That's thank you so much for sharing, Steadfast. That's really cool. As you say it, 3-3 starts up for him.
There we go.
so it's like he's listening to the cast 2 minutes in the future. Steadfast. I love it. I love it. He's building another command center, by the way. What the hell is he doing? Building another building 2 more command centers. What? If we look at the structures tab here, HeroMarine has 3 planetaries, 9 orbitals, and he's gonna have 2 more command centers. I'm not a math guy. Is that 14 bases for HeroMarine?
That is going to be 14 command centers. Yeah, that's a lot of command centers. Now, I will say that this sensor tower is a little bit far back, so he's actually not going to see this army for a while. Ooh, Koss, a little bit of a mistake, moves into that sensor tower range and will get scanned here. HeroMarine is going to be able to reposition a little bit. He's got a lot of... Oh, actually, does he? Okay, he's about to have a lot of Liberators. He's got 4 more that just popped out, and he is going to be able to secure this position with these Liberators. Even with this number of Thors with +3 attack, well, we're about to see +3 ship weapons for HeroMarine as well, which means they're going to pack such a punch.
Yeah, that's something you mentioned earlier, but guys, if you're not aware, +3 Liberators shred everything. Armored, light, biological, it does not matter. If you have a +3 Liberator, it will destroy it. They are so freaking strong, you guys. The problem is the Viking count right now for Koss, I believe, which is at 4. Oh, the Viking count fairly even, actually. HeroMarine at 14, Koss at 12, actually, so not as bad as I thought it was going to be. HeroMarine really delicately making this transition very effectively. Big fight here, but these Liberators just raining death and destruction onto the Thors. Oh, these Vikings clumped up, though, eating a lot of shots from the Thors, and now the Thors are going to help to soften up the Vikings enough where Koss's Vikings can take down HeroMarine, and again we see HeroMarine taking a not very efficient trade off the back of a rough anti-armor missile. 17 SCVs going down in the fight as HeroMarine pushes into the 1 o'clock of Koss.
Yeah, that was a very, very expensive fight. Oh my god, is this command center is going to survive? The power of repair is so good, and even these medevacs taking a lot of damage from these missile turrets. Now, HeroMarine does start target firing SCVs, and he will take out 25 of them. But, well, he needs to find a way to deal with this army. And the Thors, with their +3/+3 against the Liberators, the way they were arranged, he had like a line of Thors, like 7-8 Thors shooting at each Liberator at a time, and no tank support from the high ground. And as a result, the Liberators kind of got picked off slowly by those. And, well, wow, that's actually a lot of Liberators right now for HeroMarine.
I've never seen Liberators go toe-to-toe with Vikings like that before.
Yeah, it's uncommon. Oh, and here's another interaction you don't see often. Liberators... I was hoping to see it. I want to see Liberators kill a Widowmine. But now HeroMarine is going to be able to clean this army... Oh, maybe not. The target fire on the Liberators is pretty good, but look at that. Once they get sieged up, they get so much damage done. And finally, HeroMarine will clean this army up. Koss not killing off this very important base in the this very important high gas base for HeroMarine. Meanwhile, HeroMarine did finish off that 1 o'clock 5th base. And HeroMarine, oh my god, look at the mule party at base number 6.
Petition to add pizza paddles to the sides of HeroMarine's mules. I feel like that's the next real skin, is just mules with pizza paddles on either side. But HeroMarine's pizza oven's really paying off right now. All 14 of them able to spread across the map. Look at the bases right now for Cass. What is he on? 1.5 mining bases, if that? Whereas HeroMarine stretching his legs a little bit, taking the 3 o'clock base, taking the inside 7 o'clock base, posturing to take the outside 7 o'clock base as well. Just everything on the entire map going well for HeroMarine, and Koss has a lot of ground to cover now if he wants to make up for it. He has the army supply advantage, but HeroMarine can keep cranking out those Liberators as long as he's got all his bases out.
Yeah, I do want to point out the fact that Koss has continued to try and contest the air, despite a couple of times having his Viking count wiped out. But that is also the power of these 3-3 Thors, is even if you have a Viking disadvantage, a lot of times you can just get so much done with this. And this is so much army value. Look at the army value right now. It is about 4,000 in favor of Koss. And, well, he's going to go for a big push, but it's a nice concave for HeroMarine.
A really nice concave. Koss walking in like he's playing an arcade game, just funneling through like it's a tower defense sort of thing. But Koss is going to be able to push into that 3 o'clock base. I think HeroMarine has got to realize, yeah, he's got to get out of there. Going to lose a lot of SCVs as well, but as you said, not really a huge concern. And, whoa, HeroMarine going to try and put some pressure on with a counter drop, maybe cut off reinforcements, maybe pick off the economy and force a base trade where he can maybe outlast his opponent. I just don't know how this is going to work, though, for HeroMarine. He's going to eat a big Widowmine shot here. Huge Widowmine shot there.
That was the biggest Widowmine shot I think I've ever seen on a clump of bio. But he forces the army back.
Wow,
that's good.
Mission accomplished, man. The more time HeroMarine can buy, the better. Look at the income tab right now. Still in favor of HeroMarine, as it has been for the last couple minutes. The resources lost tab, though, still in favor of Koss by about 12k. Steadfast. HeroMarine not really playing that well this game, but somehow able to macro his way out of it. But how long can he keep that up?
That is a good question, because as I said, this army value for Koss is now getting higher and higher. And HeroMarine, I don't think he has an answer to this army just yet. And I actually, with the number of Thors, I'm starting to think Liberators are not it. Yeah, maybe Ravens to disrupt and can't, like, turn off the Thors, but he doesn't have any tech labs. He is going to take the fight. Look at how quickly these Liberators go down, and the Thor count staying so high right now. I think Koss has done it.
Man, HeroMarine made a huge mistake about 8 minutes ago not going up to Hive Tech and getting those infestors to deal with Thors. That really seems to be what you've got to do in the late game. When your opponent goes mass Thor, just look at him roasting that planetary fortress. HeroMarine's going to try and evacuate here, but he's down to 75 army supply, and he's trying to crank out, as you said, more Liberators. I agree with you. That's not the right answer right now. The Thors just continue to tear him down, even though they do great damage. With how many Thors are on the map right now? 9 Thors on the map. Man, I just don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, I think, well, with Koss now securing this left side base, re-securing this base on the top side, he's actually already almost mined it out. If HeroMarine can find a way to deal with this army, that's one thing, but Koss, oh man, even these Widow Mines getting so much value right now. You know, as a Zerg player, I have to say, it's a little bit satisfying to see a Terran player struggle against Widow Mines, but man, this cost efficiency from Koss has been insane. 17,000 resources more lost for HeroMarine, and another orbital goes down. How many orbitals have been killed this game? 6 orbitals, 1 command center, and 3 planetaries. HeroMarine has lost 10 command centers in this game.
Goodness gracious, I was gonna make another pizza joke, but you know what? I'm done with it. I think we all get that joke by now. The Thors continue their rampage here into the bottom 6 o'clock base. A HeroMarine, I love it. Every time I see HeroMarine sieging up Liberators, there are fewer. The first time it was like 12, and we were going, oh, this is so cool. And then the next time it was like 6, and you're like, oh, they're still really strong. And now it's just one sad little Liberator trying to hold the line at the top of the base. But unfortunately, Thors aren't always on time. So that Liberator's going to continue holding the line for a little bit longer. Nice scan from HeroMarine to clear out one of the Widow Mines, but man, Koss is just playing this very well. 5 Vikings and nothing else being made for Koss right now.
Yeah, and it's really interesting that he kind of just stopped making tanks. And these Marauders actually picking off a few of these Thors, but most of them going down for it. A very, very expensive fight. And, well, that's going to be it. GG is called. Koss will take down game number 1 every game. Every series has gone a little bit against expectations.
To quote my life mentor and spirit animal, Owen Wilson, wow. What else can you say, Steadfast? I mean, a 25-minute game again? These are the longest games the B stream has ever had in the history of a B stream. These are supposed to be... Look, guys, from the caster point of view, here's what happens. I wake up every morning, and I come to the office, and those posers on the A stream pick out all the best games. They're like, these are the ones we want. They're going to be the closest games, the best games. And then all the remaining garbage is shoveled onto our stream. I'm teasing, of course. We still get amazing games. But the games we see on the B stream are usually a little less evenly matched. And today, Steadfast, maybe it's because Grant is gone and there's like less, I don't know, temporal pressure because it's evening in EU or something. Maybe that's it. But all of our series today have featured at least one 20-minute game, I think. This is crazy.
Yeah. So, I believe the Hearthstone Cougar series, I think all 3 of them might have reached that point. And actually, no, you know what? Game 3 ended a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
But it still was like it was still a very exciting, good game. It was just Hearthstone, you know, kind of putting his foot down and saying enough is enough.
Right.
But really, really cool stuff.
Man, what a great series so far, and it's only Game 2. We're going on to Eternal Empire for Game 2. And I know we joked about this a little bit yesterday, Steadfast, but it seems like we see Eternal Empire, Everdream, and Death Aura in every single series. Oh, man. But our players are now ready to go in. What does HeroMarine need to do this game to win, besides not letting Cass get to 15 Thors?
I think if he does get to that crazy high Thor count, I'm thinking maybe you go like, the problem is you have to have so much flexibility as HeroMarine. You need like maybe 10 barracks to pull this off, or like 12 barracks.
Sure.
But I feel like, you know, like 10 Marauders at a time, or even like Marauder Raven would be an interesting approach, I think. And I think it could be a successful one.
Marauder Raven would be super fun. Oh, that'd be so cool. Well, let's hop in to our second game of this series and see if HeroMarine, and I can't believe I'm saying this, and see if HeroMarine can pull it back. Weird. Weird time, Steadfast. All right, boys and girls. Spawning in the bottom left-hand side in the blue. Representing Germany and Mouse Sports, he needs your support more than ever. Give it up, ladies and gentlemen, for Pizza Marine.
And his opponent, spawning up in the top right, pulling off that wild mass Thor strat, that mech dominance. It is the Red Terran player from Starcom. Give it up for Kas. And look at this. Look at this fake little hidden racks. You know, he's like, oh, I'm going for Proxy Reaper. What do you think? You gonna make some bunkers back home? You gonna overreact to this? And then he goes to natural, and he's like, oh.
I love a good little Maca Rax, just to throw your opponent off a little bit and make him a little terrified, force him to scout, maybe waste some mining time. I don't think HeroMarine's going to overreact to this or anything, but it's always a nice push, a nice surprise to see players like Cass not afraid to say, you know what, I could be a little cheeky this game. There's nothing wrong with that at all. And again, we see that factory going down for Cass before the Reaper comes out. Wow.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. It's an interesting approach. Now, is HeroMarine? Yes, of course he is. Of course he's gonna check the natural. Come on, get out of here, Kas. And but HeroMarine already building the command center on the high ground. That's not what he wanted to do. He wanted to build that on the low ground for sure.
Yeah,
but yeah, sorry, go on.
Little victory for Cass is all, I think. Little wins here and there, and they do start to add up over time. Especially in the early game. One thing I think that we have to, you know, if we back up, and I don't know if you know this about me, Steadfast, I sort of love game design and game theory, so I like to think about the matches in that way. But like the small mistakes you force early in the game have the strength of like a big mistake you can force late in the game. It's you know, people call it the butterfly effect or whatever. It's not really quite accurate, but the mistakes that you make earlier in the game are much more valuable than the mistakes you make late in the game. That's why a lot of pro players will tell you if you're trying to improve, they're like, oh, just watch the first 5 minutes of your replay. Or I even heard can't remember who it was. Somebody had said, don't watch your replay all the way through. Watch it until you make your first mistake, and then shut it off.
Yep. And that is a really, really good, philosophy. Yeah,
so forcing that little bit of a inefficient build from HeroMarine could pay off in spades later in the series. We'll just have to find out. But Starport's going down now for both players. Looks like HeroMarine slightly ahead of his opponent.
Yeah, it's just kind of a side effect of the build order choices. Whenever you go for that double gas early, you get that very quick factory. Of course, as a security measure against any kind of proxy racks Reaper, and of course, it gives you the option to go for a good number of Reapers and Hellions, maybe get some aggression done on your own. But as well, speaking of which, a little bit of an attempt in the main base. 2 Reapers not getting much value at all.
And when you say not much value at all, you mean no value. I think that
Yes.
I think that SCV was already dead from earlier. Poor guys. Nice cleanup by HeroMarine there, but at least Koss is trying.
I give him that banner, that participation trophy. He's earned it.
Well, hey, a third base going down for HeroMarine here. Now that those Reapers have been cleaned up, how do you feel about HeroMarine being a bit greedier this game than he's been previously and maybe trying to get that early third base down? Is he going to go for a timing off of 3 bases, do you think, or is he really just looking to build up his economy for a long macro game yet again?
I mean, that 1-1-1 into third command center is very common in the matchup. Now, the one thing I will say that is a little bit, maybe different from HeroMarine is the fact that he didn't go for that very quick third gas. It means that he can't have as many Ravens. He can't, pump out siege tank production as effectively. In fact, he's only going for 1 Raven, and Koss is going to go for 3 once again. So, yeah, to answer your question, I don't think he is... I don't know. We'll see if he goes into some Viking production. If he does, may be able to get a little bit of a push on the third base, try and go for a soft contain, similar to what he went for in game number 1.
I mean, there's a reason this, as you said, the 1-1-1 into third base, there's a reason it's so common. It's because it's so flexible, man. If you want to, if you sense weakness, if you see your opponent doing something where they don't have enough army on the ground for some reason, you can really quickly transition and go for like a +1/+1 push, which HeroMarine is setting up for the potential of doing. Or yeah, you can sit back, macro up, and go for a crazy early 4th if you want. And anything in between, of course. So there was a reason it's a popular build, and HeroMarine executing it very well. Should get that 1-1 started right away. Just needs a little bit more minerals and gas, and should be able to get that on the ground there. No engineering base right now for Koss, so he's actually gonna be significantly behind this upgrade game if it comes to that, because he's going bio also.
Ooh, did HeroMarine get the scout on those barracks? Not quite. Okay. So he may be forced to burn his cannon a little bit, which is not a big deal. It's, it's not ideal. Actually, is he going to scan with this next 50 energy? Oh, I would love that. Please? Koss not starting, there we go. I was going to say a little bit late on these reactors. Does have his double engineering bay on the way now, but yeah, HeroMarine's just ahead in every way in this little standard macro game. The only advantage that Koss has is that that second Raven and a single tank, but I mean, that's not all that much, all things considered. And funnily enough, Koss did not elect to actually complete that third Raven. A little bit surprising.
Yeah, his Raven play was so strong in the previous game, right? I mean, you guys saw it for yourself. That Dorito dust spreading like a virus all over those Vikings. So I'm a little surprised to see Koss not finishing the third Raven, but obviously he's going to need all the support he can get right now on the ground, because there's a big push from HeroMarine coming. Koss is going to spot it with these 2 scouting billies at the 12 o'clock, and I'm really excited to see if he sets up these tanks in time. That's going to be what it comes down to. Who can siege up in time? Koss going to win that fight, and HeroMarine going to flee for his life like a soldier in Gondor under the command of Denethor.
Yes, the worst military commander in Gondor's history by a landslide.
I'm halfway through the 2 towers right now, and I've never hated Gondor more. Like, I keep waiting. Like, I know I'm going to get to it eventually. I'm just like, man, this sucks. I hate this. So I'm really jazzed for it. Anyway, go on. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, nice little bit of a Raven harass. He does lose the Raven for it, but picking off 6 SCVs is nothing to shake a stick at. And I would say SCV kills are a little bit more important in bio versus bio than in bio versus mech. Oh, wow, splash damage. Oh, tank is going to go in the favor of Koss, thanks to that vision he has from that Viking Raven combo. And HeroMarine, going to back off with the tanks and will go for a drop into the main base.
Oh, there's nothing
actually
here.
nothing in position.
There's nothing here, Steadfast. Oh my god, this could be huge. There's nothing in the main base. There's nothing in the natural base. Everything for Koss right now at the third. HeroMarine's dropping in the natural as well. There's a double drop going on from HeroMarine. He's putting huge pressure right now on Cass. Oh my god. The Cyclone gets nailed and Koss gets nailed to the wall as well. HeroMarine ending things in 2 shakes of a fluffy lamb's tail. Gone.
Absolutely. I haven't heard I haven't heard Fluffy Lamb's tail in a while. But yeah, he really put an exclamation point on that one. Koss looking really, really strong with that mech play. HeroMarine saying, okay, you want to go bio versus my bio? You're not going to like the result. And showing very, very tight, crisp play and absolutely taking it to Koss in that game number 2.
I feel like HeroMarine's doing his best Robert De Niro impression right now. Like, you mecking at me? You mecking at me? Now he's all angry about it. Terrible.
I'm gonna make you a bio you can't refuse.
Yes, yes. Oh man, that'd be amazing. If somebody could rewrite the entire Godfather to be about two Terran players going bio versus bio, I'd love that. You come to me on this the timing of my third base and ask me to give up some of my SCVs. Great. I feel like everybody can do a Marlon Brando. That's like one of the best. That's one of my favorites is when everyone can do an impression of like one person.
Yep.
Like it's like Christopher Walken. It's how everybody can do a Christopher Walken. And it just makes me so happy that humanity can rally around something stupid like that. Oh, it makes me so happy. Speaking of making things that make me happy here, game number 3 gonna be Everdream LE. It's 1-1. Steadfast, you sticking with your prediction? Is HeroMarine gonna pull this one out?
I think so. This is a better map for bio, I think, than Death Aura. But you know, I don't know. I don't know if Koss busts out mech again. Go either way.
Well, let's dig into this game 3 and figure out what's gonna happen, and we'll get in to Everdream LE. Spawning in that bottom left-hand side, in the blue, he is the biggest of Gabriels himself, representing Germany and mouse sports. It is Calzone Marine.
Calzones are great.
Right?
Calzones.
Love a calzone.
Love Ben Wyatt from Parks and Rec.
The low-cal calzone zone. Absolutely.
The Cones of Dunshire.
Oh, what a game. What a game.
And his opponent spawning up in the top right. He is the Russian... Wow, Russian Juggernaut, yeah. When I think of him as the literal Juggernaut from Marvel movies, it is the Red Terran player from Starcom. Give it up for Koss. I just want to point out that I'm really happy we don't...
Oh, sorry, go on. Steadfast. I make this mistake every single freaking cast. Koss is not Russian. He's Ukrainian.
Oh, he's Ukrainian. I am. Yep.
If they're from Starcom, from B100, or from Cascade Gaming, for some reason, I always assume they're Russian players, and I feel really bad because I know that they have distinct national identities, and I should not be. I should not be. But yes, Koss is Ukrainian. Anyway, what else were you gonna say, Steadfast?
Well, first of all, apologies to Koss right there. Look at this, by the way. HeroMarine thinking that it's absolutely going to be Koss pulling this second trick, being a little bit more adventurous with it. He's going to force double bunker.
Man, he's
2 bunkers being built.
Yeah, immediately cancels though. Once HeroMarine gets the scout off there, what a scout from HeroMarine, man! Very fortuitous to turn that SCV south rather than north. I feel like that's a 50-50 that he just happened to win on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. But we'll see the Reapers coming out, I imagine, and that reactor on the barracks is so huge. Koss still going for very early aggression. Was canceling those bunkers a mistake?
No, definitely not. It was the right call, but HeroMarine needs to identify that Koss is going for a 1-base play right now, and he will see that very, very early starport, and this should let him know. And he's actually even going to delay it for quite a bit. He picks off the second SCV, and, well, now I was going to say we should see HeroMarine start a bunker at the front, and there we go. Immediately does that. HeroMarine, this is really, really fantastic for him so far. Now the only thing right now for Koss is, are we going to see a Liberator or a Medevac pop out? I think we're probably going to see a Liberator based on the fact that he never stopped mining gas. And it can, especially seeing this bunker, I think he's going to get a Liberator. Oh, he gets the SCV before it finishes, and the Command Center SCV. That is some really, really nice counter damage. In fact, HeroMarine doesn't have enough just yet. 2 more Marines popping out will help clean this up, but already 3 SCVs and the Reapers for HeroMarine going down. I say Reaper, but Reapers, but it's single Reaper.
That could have been so dangerous there. Koss getting tied up actually on the ramp for just a moment. So he wasn't able to get as much DPS out of those units as he wanted to. That could have been really, really rough for HeroMarine there. Luckily, Koss not quite able to do it. Nice micro from HeroMarine all the same. Still does lose 4 SCVs, but he's going to be evened up now with Koss. And I think this game going to neutralize a little bit here. Looks like things are going to be even up from here on out. Obviously, HeroMarine's natural way ahead of Koss.
I will say that HeroMarine still has a lot of aggressive potential with this early medevac, this Cyclone, these couple of Marines. Oh man, you definitely want to bring those Reapers. The ability for them to fight toe-to-toe once they have a medevac is so powerful. This is going to be a really, really frightening scenario to deal with. If Koss can kind of ferry the units from the low ground into the high ground, but he's just going to drop everything all at once, and now the Reapers should jump into the main base, but they haven't yet. Cyclone will pop out for HeroMarine, and it is going to get a lock-on this medevac. Meanwhile, repair coming down on the Viking. Very, very nice from HeroMarine. Oh, and he keeps the Viking alive.
Textbook defense from HeroMarine. Oh, the Reaper's going to get nailed by the bunker. Koss, what a blunder there, throwing those Reapers away for nothing. Koss seeming a bit distracted or something right now. I'm really not sure what's going on, Steadfast. That medevac with 4 health left. Oh, bless its heart. Somebody get a SCV out here with some duct tape and chewing gum to wire that thing back together. Oh, man. What a defense from HeroMarine, though. As you said, exactly what it needed to do, right? The lock-on with the Cyclone, the repair on the Cyclone, the correct focus fire order. Just well done from Big Gabe himself. Ravens coming out on both sides now, but Big Gabe already starting on that +3. Oh my god, let me start over. Already starting on that 3rd command center. Starting on +3. He skipped 1 and 2 completely. Starting on the 3rd command center, and Koss still just cranking out. It looks like Koss just cranking out more and more army units here. He's not cutting SCV production. He's just a little bit behind with the very nature of his build.
Yeah, and this is a little bit of an awkward scenario. If I were HeroMarine, I think I would go for a lock-on on that tech lab, see what I can get done. But he kind of just respects that Koss will have units back in time.
Sure.
And that tech lab does have a lot of HP for a single lock-on to take it down. But yeah, I want to really point out how much of an opportunity missed that was for Koss. Not bringing those 2 Reapers in. They could have jumped up into the main base, and if they had done so, you know, a Reaper grenade on top of that Viking, it dislodges every single SCV, and then the Viking goes down. Then all of a sudden, it's Cyclone versus Cyclone with Reapers to help out, with a couple of Marines on either side, and, you know, maybe one more good grenade on top of either the Cyclone or the Marines of HeroMarine, and maybe Koss wins that fight and picks off like 8 more SCVs. You know, like, it is very close to being a really rough scenario for HeroMarine, but Koss kind of misses his opportunity, and HeroMarine is now very far ahead in this game.
Yeah, we talked about it in game number 1. Those early game fights can be so quick, so violent, and so game decisive, right? The loss of 1 unit, 1 good grenade, any tiny little micro victory or mistake can really determine your fate in those early series. Now, HeroMarine is pushing out here. I hope he doesn't engage with this. There's a lot of army supply for Koss in that medevac, actually, but the tanks are already sieged up, and he does have enough energy for 1 disable, but there are Vikings, there are a couple Ravens out. I think HeroMarine maybe just posturing with some pressure here, but it seems very odd to move such a tiny army out onto the map when there's really no opportunity for him to force another mistake out of Koss right now.
I think he was kind of hoping that Koss would be not in the greatest position, and maybe he could find that, deny that 3rd, and then also go after this production. And here is something that I did want to talk about. It's a little bit risky to go for what Koss has done, because now he's got these 2 very important add-ons in kind of the middle of nowhere, and it meant that he had to defend that position. Now, HeroMarine not able to take advantage of it. Koss is going to be able to land his command center, and he will be in an okay position, but Ooh, nice little drop into the main base.
Yeah, this is
Coming
that
down
drop
from
we saw a
Cost.
few moments earlier that medevac loaded up where I was like, man, I hope HeroMarine doesn't engage here. The good focus fire, though, on those auto turrets. HeroMarine manually targeting the auto turrets onto the medevac rather than the Marines, which they're automatically going to target because the Marines do higher DPS. So really nice move there. It's going to slow down. It's going to make this a little bit of a longer attack, but it does mean that Cost is going to get less value out of it. However, Cost just using the time to go ahead and siege up here. Looks like he's got a lot of tanks out yet again. Ooh. And he's going to go ahead and put a soft contain on HeroMarine here.
Yeah, now HeroMarine's bases are not under threat yet, and just barely this one bottom tank does not reach this kind of rally location. It's close, but it is not quite in that deadly position, and it's that one tank of HeroMarine that is really the linchpin right now. If I'm Kos, I am leapfrogging a couple tanks forward and dropping an interference matrix. The problem is, though, he only has tanks right here. There's nothing else. HeroMarine going to be coming in for a big flank with these Ravens. Costo sniffs it out and will kind of block that check move. But now, big surround coming in from Big Gabe.
Yeah, beautifully done there by Gabe. He distracted those Ravens for just long enough where they didn't know where to drop their auto turrets. And he's going to be able to clear this tank line. And now it's bio against landed Vikings, which no self-respecting Viking player wants to do. HeroMarine did lose 11 SCVs in that engagement. So with the 5 that he already lost earlier, his total SCV loss of 19, which is not great because now he's a little behind on SCVs. But with his third out a little bit earlier, he should be able to catch up fairly quickly and should still be in a decent position this game. As you're showing us there, 1-1 only just now, working away for Kos. And HeroMarine's going to have a very wide timing window to put pressure on here. What's the tank count now? What's that tank count, kids? 0. Nothing for Cass.
Yes, it is. And once again, here is this position where now this very, very important factory is fully exposed. And, well, with a tank popping out, that's actually the only tank on the map right now. HeroMarine is going to be able to siege this. And this is big problems for Kos. He only has the one factory. Second one is about to finish. Hello? Somewhere.
Hello?
It's somewhere on the map. But the first one, well, it's going to force Kos to take a really, really awkward, unpleasant position, and HeroMarine takes a massively advantageous fight behind it, picks off all of those Vikings, all of the Marines, and now will take out the factory and this starport, and I think that's actually going to be too much for Kos to handle.
And
oh, wow, look at these.